What's going on, guys? Welcome to Two Dudes, One Car. I'm Parker Nierenstein.
And I'm Alejandro Solomon.
There you
I
go.
think so.
You think? You're
I
not
think.
sure.
I think. I'm like 3 deep, so...
And we got some crazy new ornaments. So we're here in Salamandran's grandma's living room, but we are sprucing it up.
What a piece
No,
of shit.
you have such a beautiful home. It's just something about the gold and the white. It just feels, a little bit mature. Because I know you're not. Tell me about this, dude. This is an OEM Zonda part lamp.
Well, it's got Wyra and Zonda parts. There's
Yeah.
a few Wyra parts in it, too. Horatio was kind enough to come to our wedding.
Wow.
We got
Our
married-
wedding? When did that
our
happen?
wedding.
Yeah. When did that happen?
People didn't know that we got married?
I didn't even
No.
know.
So when
I'm
my-
rich. Yeah.
When Belen and I got married in 2015, we got married in Italy.
Gotcha.
So I called Horatio and I was like, listen, Horatio, that's when I had placed my order for my Wyra.
Mm-hmm.
So I had seen him. We really liked each other. And I just gave him a call and I was like, listen, I have this idea of getting some pictures for my wedding. This is before social media or anything. I mean, social media was going on, but no one gave a fuck. And I was like, I want to have a Zonda for my wedding. I want to have my Pagani there, but I don't think I'm going to be able to just ship it and whatnot. It was
Sure.
before it became popular to ship your car from one place to another. So I said, is there any way I can give you like 10, 20,000 euros for a day and I can rent out a Zonda? And he goes, wait, you're getting married and you're not inviting me to your wedding? That was like what he replied. And I was like, well, if you want to come, you're more than invited. I just don't think you're going to show up. He goes, I'll be there. And I'm like, okay, but can I still get the Zonda so that I can take the pictures?
Yeah.
He goes, I'll be there. So he showed up.
So it didn't have to pay.
He didn't have to pay?
You didn't have to pay for
Nothing.
the Zonda?
No,
Yeah,
no,
wow.
nothing. So I invited Horatio. I was like, he's never going to show up.
Yeah.
I booked him because we rented a castle to get married in Italy, the Getty Castle.
That is sick.
In La Dispoli in Rome. It was really epic, I gotta say.
Oh, man.
And we booked the whole thing, and I left all the rooms for whatever friends were coming. We booked everything.
Wow.
And one of the best rooms I left empty for Horatio. I said, there is no way this motherfucker's gonna show up. There's no way. And he did. And he
That's
showed up. He
unbelievable.
brought the Zonda and everything. He came with his wife. He was awesome. And he's like, Ali, I brought you your car. Here, take all your pictures. I was like, you're the man, whatnot. So at the end of it, he was like, I have like these presents for you. And one of the presents from that was that lamp,
That is a hell of a wedding gift.
which I appreciate. I know he sent a different, this is a one-off, but in a way that there's more made. They're just all different.
Uh-huh.
He hired this great artist that works with glass. And then he's grabbing all of these parts from the Zonda, the Wyra, whether it's suspension, the clutch, or anything. And he's putting them together. So he made me this one and he gave it to us for our wedding. And this is one of the things that I treasure the most. When he sent it to me, because he brought like the picture and said, like, this is what I got you. I'm going to ship it to your home. It arrived broken twice.
No.
Oh, yeah. So imagine just like seeing it, and then I had to message him. I
Wow.
felt so bad. I was like,
Hey, so it's
"Is
like
this?" I was
broken
like,
in half.
"Well,
Is it supposed to be like
by the
this?
way, yeah.
You're like,
When-
whoa,
when
that's
I-
crazy.
when
It's
I got it, I was
half
like,
a lamp with
am I
some-
supposed to put it together?" And he goes, "No, it's broken." I was like, "Oh, okay, good."
Unbelievable.
Because I don't want to put it together. So he sent it 2 more times, and the 3rd time was a charm. And here it is.
It's badass.
I don't keep a lot of things. I only keep things that mean something to me, and I adore Horatio's autograph right here.
You've got the Wyra mirror. That's pretty epic.
The Wyra mirror we have because Sergio gave it to me for my birthday, which I'll never stop
Why
saying
do
thank
Sergio?
you.
Why do you just have a Wyra mirror? Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
By the way, what a piece
That's
of shit.
awesome. I'm gonna start stealing things from you and
No.
then giving it to you for your birthday.
That's good. That's good. As long as you,
Yeah, I'll give it back. I just want to get some credit for it. This lamp disappears. You're like, that's insane. How did you get this lamp for me?
By the way, now pay attention to this because everything that goes away and comes back in Pagani form is a lamp. That's a lamp, and that's also a lamp.
That's kind of sus. I don't know. That could be a new conspiracy theory.
We'll figure it out.
Have you seen your Wyra recently?
I am not.
Like,
It's called the Donatello.
no, is it the light that's illuminating this podcast right now?
It
Could
might be. It
Could
might
be.
be. It's the Donatello light sun. That's right. So that's where we got it from. But it's one of my favorite.
It's pretty
things
cool.
It's probably one of top 3 things that I own that I love.
I would say so.
Yeah.
I would say so.
Easy.
So on the way over here, I was watching a Marquez Brownlee video. Love that guy's videos.
Yeah, he's epic.
and
MKBHD YZK.
yeah. And he was talking about Sora AI. Have you heard of this?
Oh, have I heard of it?
So for people who don't know, and you should look this up, I'll insert some clips throughout this podcast. It's ridiculous. So it's Sam Altman, the founder of OpenAI, who created ChatGPT. Guy's a mega genius, has a McLaren F1, car enthusiast. And they just took things to a level that I didn't know was going to happen this year. And it's a little bit like, as cool as what I'm about to say is, holy crap, what is AI going to accelerate like in the very near future? So at first, we had this program called Dolly, and it was kind of cool because you could use it for thumbnails on things. You could type in a text prompt, and it would give you a very, very detailed AI-generated image based on what you were typing.
Yeah.
Sora gives you a hyper-realistic video.
Yeah.
Up to a minute long of what you're typing. So you could be like Cybertruck driving through the hills with Mars in the background, and it's unbelievable.
And it'll do it. It'll do exactly as crazy as you think in your mind in crisp HD will deliver that. It's madness.
The first thing I thought was, how soon until there's an AI-generated influencer and YouTube channel
that already
who's
exists.
just better than any
By
of
the way,
us?
that already exists. And you can also do it for yourself already. There are a few sites. I have a thing called Futurepedia.
Okay.
That I use.
Yeah.
And if you guys want the link, I'll send it to you after the end of this. Please write it down so that I don't forget, Sergio. Thank you. Futurepedia.io, I think. Maybe. But like I said, the link should be here and down in the description below. Sorry, Parker.
That's all good.
For everyone to see it. And that gives you like the top AI tools
Really?
that exist everywhere. It's an incredible resource. And there's some websites where you can actually upload hours of footage of yourself talking to a camera. And it can actually render videos of your persona saying those things. So now you can grab that one website that
Can
does
it say
that.
new words?
So you can grab that website that is generating the image, the video, and the everything of you that after getting all that those hours of footage. And then you can go to another one that can actually grab you all the information from whatever subject that you want, create a script, and you can put it together, and you can absolutely create a Parker that's virtual.
I mean,
yeah,
we have
straight up.
the ultimate library to feed that system.
Yes,
I
absolutely.
just got a notification that, I don't know, 3-4 videos ago, I hit my 2000th YouTube video.
Holy crap.
So I have 2,000 10+ minute videos of myself that I could upload to that, and the AI would have to be pretty decent at that point.
Oh, no. It looks just like you talking to a camera. No one would know it's not you. It's rare. Yeah.
And that's when we tell them that once again, we're not here. And
that would be amazing, by the way.
Could you fucking imagine the whole podcast?
Passive income.
Yeah.
So to me I want to do that, but I want to do it with different channels because I want to do nutrition. I want to do like workout. I want to do, and you can just grab your best resources of information, get a nice summary of everything that you want to say, put those videos out. Don't let completely AI do them yet because you got to oversee it. It's not at that point yet. And you just create all these channels with a Parker that knows all those things and can just, dude, it's doable. It's now doable. It's
That's
legit.
pretty insane because that was the one element where I'm like, well, AI, how is it going to replace creativity? And I know with Sora, they're currently not allowing using people's likeness. Now, this is a private program that they're only giving like some people access to, and then internally in the company, obviously. But it doesn't seem like something that readily is going to allow you to make a video of Trump doing something illegal or make a video of me doing something.
Yeah.
But you're saying that the programs do exist already
Oh, there are plenty.
that
Oh,
can make
dude.
that's crazy.
Because the thing about OpenAI, when you use ChatGPT, it's very censored.
Yeah,
I mean,
of
it's a
course, of
Microsoft
course. And
product.
it has a almost a political lens
Mega.
through it. Like you
Mega.
ask it certain questions and it responds,
Like if you
politically
ask him-
correctly and
If you ask it to make you a funny picture of Joe Biden, it won't. Because it
Really?
says like, oh, you're
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
crossing a line. Then you tell it, hey, give me a picture of someone shitting on Trump. It's like, here you go. Here's 7 different variations of it and they're free.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy how that's actually leaking into our AI
yeah.
systems. But there are, if you go on Futurepedia, you're going to find so many creations by so many random people and so many awesome things that you'll be able to do the stuff that you're saying. It's already there.
That
The
is
thing is,
unbelievable.
people don't understand how far away artificial intelligence it already is. They really don't, man. It's on a whole different...
Oh, I can only imagine, especially in
like,
the military sense and the financial
economic,
markets. And
yes.
yeah, it's got to be
It's mega.
it's got to be pretty far out there. And
yeah.
I'm sure it, for selfish reasons, is being very much sheltered from the general public.
Well,
because-
you got to look at it like this. Through time, not to bore anyone with this bullshit, right? But through time, we've seen small businesses that you...
Oh, I got too bored. Sorry.
I was like, holy shit, what happened to
Could
Parker?
you imagine?
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
really
yeah.
terrified
All
for
right,
a second.
sorry, yeah.
Thank you for... Thank you for that. Through time, we've seen how small businesses have disappeared in favor for bigger businesses.
Yeah.
The best example I can give you is simple. And I have nothing against Walmart. I sell a ton of my products in Walmart. I think they're great. So please love me back. Go to Walmart, get your water people and your mezcal aileron and all that stuff. Yeah.
Can the Walton family adopt me?
Yes, that'd be amazing.
Just
That's what I'm
throwing
saying.
it
I'm
out
here
there.
for you guys. I'm all in. But before Walmart, we used to have a lot of stores around. I don't know how, probably not your generation, but my generation. Dude, we had like eateries, restaurants, cuisines that, like kitchens that belonged to like, let's say, John's Kitchen. And you would show up and it's an old man like named John and he would cook you shit and you'd be there and you'd eat whatever John made you. And then you would go to the place where they sold all of the tools for construction.
Sure.
And then you'd go to that place and it was like John's place.
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
you'd go there. And then all of that was destroyed and taken over by big corporations like Walmart. Have you ever seen Demolition Man?
No.
Are you serious?
No.
With Stallone and Wesley Snipes?
I don't think so, no.
Oh, you gotta watch
It's a
this.
movie?
Oh my God, yes.
Okay, cool.
It's happening right now. So Demolition Man, it's a movie from the, I want to say 80s, 90s. Stallone, Wesley Snipes, Sandra Bullock. And it was a take on the future. And I believe it's like 2030. So we might be really close or we might have already passed it
Sure.
or like really like that. And in the future, Stallone, like they basically froze Stallone from the 80s because he was a criminal. And then they woke him up because there was like a threat in the future from his time and they don't know how to stop him. So they wake up Stallone, they bring him to the future. Sandra Bullock is taking care of him and she's taking him everywhere. And they go to dinner and they go to and she's like, we're going to meet with the mayor. This is a really big deal. So you better dress up, whatever. He's like, where are we going to dinner? And she goes, to Taco Bell. And he's like, what? Taco Bell? Like, it's a fancy dinner. It's the mayor. And Sandra Bullock explains to him, oh, Taco Bell acquired all of the restaurants in the world. So now all restaurants are Taco Bell.
Wow.
That sounds crazy, right?
Yeah,
But let me ask you this. What was Amazon when it started?
Books.
What is Amazon now?
Yeah, everything. Yeah, it's pretty unbelievable.
Do you understand?
It is unbelievable how when you see the original invention of Amazon versus what it is today, it's like...
But this is all
Dumbfounding.
companies. What was
Yeah,
Facebook
yeah.
when it started? What was Google when it
Yeah, yeah,
started?
yeah.
And what is it now?
No, it's unbelievable.
They're absorbing every single smaller company.
yeah.
AI is actually accelerating that because believe it or not, you need $500 million to build one of those computers so that you can actually generate AI, right? So what are they doing? Facebook is saying, Parker, don't worry about it. You want to use Llama? Llama is our artificial intelligence system. We'll let you use our $500 million computer. The thing is, your project, we have first dibs at. So if your shit's pretty good, we'll take it over and actually sell it.
Yeah.
That sounds great, but
I
they
don't
are
blame
taking
them.
over everything.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I mean, it makes sense. They're allowing you to do it via their proprietary tools.
They're tools.
It's like if you work at a company and you come up with an invention, they own your intellectual
or
property.
a skit, like really as simple as it is. If you're in Saturday Night Live and you write a skit, and that skit blows up and it becomes a movie like MacGyver,
you ain't getting the money.
SNL owns that.
Yeah.
Right? Like it's the same thing. So we're going towards a world that's more tight and owned by like very few companies right now. So you can escape that right now through all of these resources that you'll find through Futurepedia that we're giving you.
I gotta check that out. That's
But it's
actually
really
a very
interesting.
cool resource.
Yeah, I think
and
it's
it's
really
cool.
interesting.
It's cool to see as AI develops the other businesses that are surrounding it. Like now there is a business dedicated to showing you the top AI things.
Yeah.
It's a company just showing you the best of tech. That's pretty cool. And I didn't even know that existed. I feel like I had heard of it, but I didn't know that's exactly what.
I don't think it's that popular because I bring it up all the time in my Spanish channel where I talk about all these things.
Maybe it just sounds familiar because it's like Wikipedia
Futurepedia.
and it's words you've heard before. It could be one of those things.
But it's a great resource for anything that you need.
Yeah.
And this whole thing that OpenAI is creating with video, it's a revolution, but it's definitely going to take over. There's a channel that I love to watch. I love conspiracy theories because they're so entertaining.
It's really entertaining.
I love stories.
I like it too. Yeah.
I am a big story guy. Like, tell me a good story, I'm all in. I'm not saying I'm believing them and I'm taking them in. And all that
but
stuff.
it's entertainment, and some elements of some things probably have truth to it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's a channel on YouTube. I don't know if you've ever watched it, called The Y-Files.
No.
If you haven't, you gotta check it out.
Okay.
You're gonna lose your stuff for The Y-Files. And in The Y-Files,
As in WHY?
WHY Files.
Okay.
And he's got it's a guy that tells like the stories, like all these conspiracy stories. He puts them together. He presents them really well.
This is Alejandro's AI channel. It's actually him. Make me look like an old man so I can make conspiracy theory videos.
One day I'll be able to do this.
100%.
And this dude presents like a story, and he's so good at telling the story. And he's got a co-host, which is called Hecklerfish. And Hecklerfish just like throws all the dirty jokes. So he pretends to be like
this
a
is his
clean-cut guy. And it sounds like it. I wish, because this dude's printing money. And so he does this. And when he tells the stories, he used to like grab images and like some random videos for it.
Sure.
But now he's creating AI, because you've seen the AI images that can actually be animated. So he's prompting probably Dali to create these AI images, and then he's going through the other resource and animating the images. You've seen the one from the meme where the guy is looking back with the red dress girl, right?
Yeah.
And he's looking back. You've seen the animated version of that by AI, right? So basically, he's using those images that he creates, and then he's animating them, and then panning and scanning. Do you know what panning and scanning is?
I could take an educated guess.
This is in the movie business. Panning and scanning is you grab a frame, whether it's a video or an image, and you zoom in and scan through it.
Yeah.
And it looks
it's like a Ken Burns effect on
it is.
Final Cut Pro.
It absolutely is in a simplified in a simplified way. So he's making these epic stories with these epic images that he's epically just moving a little bit and panning and scanning. And when he's telling you the story, now you can see it and you're like, it brings a whole dimension to entertainment, dude.
That's pretty cool. Yeah.
We should not just talk about this and not use it. I think that there's some use here for us in our channels.
100%. And that's what I was excited about when I saw the Sora clips. Is it's not available yet for us, but at a certain point, there will be a use case for that, for B-roll clips and commercials and so on and so forth. And I think it'll be genuinely helpful for
Dude.
like social media as a whole, and terrifying. I mean, it's if they can use people's likeness, it'll be pretty scary.
You know why it's important to know these things? Because you can actually make money from it. And
100%.
And by the way, I
100%.
don't mean using it. I mean actually betting against the establishment. And by that I mean, you know, Getty Images.
Yeah.
You know all these websites that have all these copyrights, and some of them are public.
Yeah. This is gonna take over
That sell images, and you'll never need them again.
100%.
Because now you can just
all the
create it on
stock
AI.
images now can be generated.
So you can essentially short the stock of those companies
Interesting.
and make money.
That's a crazy play.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. I told you guys about Rivian and Tesla. My portfolio is doing pretty well. I hope everyone's taking advantage of it.
I've seen some
so.
comments the other day that were like, "Can you guys just stop plugging Rivian?" I was like, "I got nothing to do with this."
No one's plugging Rivian. It's just like making money, dude. Like it's in a cheap way.
I got to look into that. What Getty Images stock is.
It's down 7% today. They don't review.
Getty? It's down 7% right now.
No way.
Son, I'm telling you.
That is crazy. And this is not something we looked up beforehand. That was a crazy call. And it makes all the sense in the world.
You don't have to be a genius to understand this. And by the way, they're going to go to zero.
Wow.
Zero. So
They are going to have to adapt really fast.
you
They
know?
are shitting.
What are they going to do?
I don't know.
There's no value
Nothing.
outside of what they do.
Nothing.
They need to redo their whole business
Yeah.
and come up with something. Like they literally need to come. They should have come up with this. They should have bought that tool.
You're right.
And
You're
they
right.
didn't invest in that because they're too busy at red carpets making sure that women are not posting those pictures on Instagram without the watermark. And that's where they're
it's
spending
true.
their time
It's
and money.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That is
Absolutely crazy.
insane.
This world is changing fast, but there is so much money to be made in this fast-changing world right now.
It's exciting. I'm excited to see. Obviously, it's going to change some things. Obviously, there's going to be some negative elements, but I think there's going to be a lot of positives, new opportunities, new jobs, and it's a ever-changing, rapidly evolving landscape.
Remember when everyone was creating 6x6s, and I made I even made a render of a 6x6 Raptor S, and it got like a ton of attention. and went viral. You can actually do that right now.
I mean, making that's a joke now.
You can even do a review of that car without the car existing.
Okay, tell me more about that. What do you mean?
You generate the car through a prompt.
Uh-huh.
And then you guide Sora image by image, frame by frame. And I'm not saying like one frame, 24 frames per second. I mean like animations that are 5 seconds long. And you can create a review of Parker going through a car that does not exist. Kind of like what Supercar Blondie does.
Yeah,
and by the way, this would be the end of Supercar Blondie if this actually...
Because you can't, as of now, I mean, that's
Love
wild.
you, Alex. That's not
wild
true
to think
at
about.
all.
That's wild to think about.
Yeah.
Because as of now, at least with that one, I can't use that program. But two,
You can. They are giving away
are they?
tickets. I'm going to try to get some.
Let's try to figure that
after
out.
we're
'Cause
done with
that would be awesome.
Yeah.
I don't think it
I
could
am
replicate the way I look and put me into a review setting. But if somehow a combination, I mean, it's obviously going to get there.
You listen. This is where everyone is.
God, that's just unbelievable.
This is where everyone is stuck with their mindset because I come from that world.
Yeah.
Everyone is like, 5 years, Hollywood's going to be done and they're never going to be able to do this. You can tie it up together with voiceover yourself.
Sure.
And you can create like the whole arc of the story from beginning to end and just like tell a story, tell a thing, present it to everyone. It doesn't have to match perfectly everything like the Y-Files guy does.
Sure.
And then you just put it out and you're just watching something that no one's ever seen in their life.
Well, I
dude.
mean, you just storyboard each section and then, I mean, you're storyboarding it via text and it just creates it. And you can do
All
separate
you need
clips.
to do is like, number one. Yeah,
Exactly.
This is as bad as it
like
gets.
nothing
And this
compared
is
to
when
what
you
it's going to
see-
be.
Have you seen the video of a year ago with this same system before Sora was known as Sorrow?
Yeah, well, like in Marquez Brownlee's video, he demonstrated Will Smith eating
Will Smith
spaghetti.
eating spaghetti.
And it's the most unrealistic thing ever, but you can still kind of tell it's Will Smith and it's
Yeah,
kind of eating
it
spaghetti.
works. Yeah.
But now it's so
Legit.
many levels above that, it's horrifying.
So right now it's like prime so that you can do like, for example, number one, Parker sees a car. Number two, we focus on the car and zoom
Yeah.
in on all of the properties of this car, and then you describe what the
Yeah,
car is
yeah.
like. Number 3, Parker opens the door, and then you start telling the story.
100%.
And this is what no one understands. I don't know why everyone needs the thing to spit a whole movie when you can just put it together like little command by
Exactly. I
command
mean,
and
that's
editing
what
it
that's what
together.
you do anyways in content creation and movie creation. Everything is different scenes.
It's
and-
just there's a lot of guys talking about tech that don't do this, that
Sure,
don't tell
sure.
stories.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So they don't understand it. But the opportunity is massive, and it's right
pretty
here.
ridiculous.
Yes.
Wow.
I think it's one of the coolest
I'm
things
excited.
ever. Yeah.
I'm excited.
Same.
Because there's an element where you could be scared of it taking over certain jobs and putting certain things out of business, but there's also a way to leverage it for sure.
Absolutely.
No matter what industry you're in.
Dude, you can create
be positive.
a fake F1 racing style thing where the cars fly, and then you just prepare it
I
before.
mean, you can do anything.
Anything you want.
Anything.
Anything you want. Your imagination is the
Yeah.
limit, and your imagination
I
is
mean, it
unlimited.
actually is going to be able to allow the average individual to create movies
Yeah.
that would be $300 million budget CGI films
Yeah.
that would have to be created from scratch that now an AI program can do.
Yeah, the reason why they agreed on the strike terms for all of the Hollywood actors, I used to work in that.
Yeah.
And for the writers and for everyone is because Hollywood knows that Netflix won't need actors anymore. All they're gonna do is they're gonna call Brad Pitt, they're gonna call Angelina Jolie, they're gonna call whoever your favorite actor is, and they're gonna say, "Can I rent your licensing, your likeness, and your voice for a year, and I'll give you $10 million.
Yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
is Netflix." Yes. And then Netflix, you're going to turn on Netflix. Netflix knows what you like to watch, and you'll be able to watch absolutely custom shit just made for you with your favorite people, dude.
Yeah. And then I'm thinking like Hyper 5 style, you could have the AI generate a race between a P1, a LaFerrari, and a 918
Yeah.
using the maximum lateral Gs and certain tire temperature and what tires and all the physics and 0 to 60 and quarter mile times of the cars and generate a real accurate race without having any of the
100.
cars.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. This is changing the world
crazy.
completely. Yeah. And people will be able to design cars at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely.
With this and creating
Absolutely.
in a fake environment, and actually at some point someone will buy the rights from those cars generated by AI to be able to make them.
Yeah. And I like that it's like an iterative process where you create something and then you can just modify it from there. And
Yeah.
I'm excited.
No,
I think it's gonna be
there's-
cool.
There's so many good plays in there. And as long as, and I would say for anyone that's watching this, do not be discouraged by the fact that massive companies are going to have this advantage. There's still a mega, gigantic space of air in between
100%.
the regular public and the gigantic companies creating this content that needs to be filled.
I think if anything, it's creating more access for the general public to be able to do things
Absolutely.
never
It's
doable
just-
before.
It's just more intimidating because it requires more knowledge and
Yeah.
But yes,
But
I agree with
we'll
you.
adapt. Speaking of the world, it's a totally different direction of the conversation. But what do you think is your favorite car events and car shows? And do you even like going to car shows? I'm curious.
So I think car shows are it's a double-edged sword. I think car shows as a whole to present something are retarded.
Okay.
And I've thought this, and I've thought about it, and I fought against it for a long time now. Because why do I need to go somewhere to go look at a car presentation and then the blogs come out when you can just send 6 YouTubers like ourselves? Look at this car, post it, and then everyone looks at the car in a way more...
You don't think seeing it in person has a difference? I do.
Well, you also have to understand that you're very privileged because you're white. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just absolutely kidding. You're very privileged because we get to get access to
Yeah.
these cars. So when we go to a car show, we actually get to see a whole different layer of the car
Sure.
compared to everyone else.
Sure, but
People
you
are just-
also can go to Monterey Car Week and do a lot of things for free and see these cars on the road and
yes and no, because it's
there's
not
an element
free.
of luck.
It's
Well, I
expensive.
mean, you could go just to Monterey Car Week's probably my favorite week of the year, and you can just go and see random stuff driving down the street. But I think Goodwood Festival of Swedes even better. They make the tickets so cheap, and you can watch a Valkyrie blast up the hill for $40.
Am I going to take that Goodwood is your favorite thing ever?
It might be.
Mine
I think
is.
it's a tie between Goodwood and no, Goodwood's the best.
Mine is.
Yeah.
Goodwood is incredible, dude.
I was gonna say Quail is up there, but Quail is like
Static.
because it's static. It's just if it had the dynamic element.
Yes.
But Goodwood, for anyone who hasn't been there, it's a show in England at this lord's home. It's literally at this guy's house, and the driveway up to his house is basically a racetrack.
Lord Ballington.
And
That's what I call him.
Yeah, and they
Lord Ballington.
because he's ballin'.
He's balling, dude. That's not his name.
Yeah, I
Lord
don't know.
Ballington.
Lord Marsh, I think, is his actual
yeah,
name.
yeah.
Yeah. But you get to see new cars that maybe were just unveiled, and you saw it a week ago on the internet, pictures of it, go
Ripping.
full out up the
Ripping.
hill, and I think it's awesome. And they
Yeah.
make it accessible. They don't make the tickets $1,000. It's $40.
No, and by the way, that's something that's so good about it. 'Cause
Yeah.
in the UK, you can tell the moment when you're going to Goodwood, and you get in a cab going from the airport to wherever you're staying, the cab driver loves cars, and he'll only talk to you about cars on his way there. And
Sure.
then you'll be looking around, and you're like, there's so many modified cars compared to what we see every day here. And like, there's a real passion, a real following behind that. And then Goodwood is when you open a door and we're all equal.
It's pretty sick.
We're all looking like the only people that are not equal to us is the people that owned the Rolls Royce that was $13 million and had like a camera to just look at it. Those are, yes. But to all of us, it equals a playing field. And you walk in, you can eat the same hot dog, the same type of food as everybody else.
Yeah.
And then you get to see the same cars, same experiences, and have the same shot at like being around race car drivers. The first time we went there, we saw Valtteri Bottas, Nico Rosberg, before I knew who Nico was. I'm sorry, Nico. I love you now, dude, but I didn't know because I didn't know about Formula One.
I need to link up with him. At one point, at least, he was a
Nico?
subscriber.
Yeah.
Which I thought was like sick.
Yeah.
And he's got a YouTube channel, right? With
Yeah.
some
The
baller
thing
cars
is,
and
now Nico's killing it. He started doing by the way, there's so many things that he does that it's incredible, right? Because when you see a Formula One driver, a champion, because he's not a Formula One driver, he's a Formula One
Yeah,
champion.
100%.
When you see a dude like that driving a car that on a track, you're like, okay.
yeah, I mean, he knows what he's talking about more than almost anyone.
Way
because
better
he's-
than seeing
yeah.
Salamandrin or
I
fucking...
mean, yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
doing whatever.
can't toot my own horn too much. The guy's a damn
You see him?
champion driver.
I remember him when I was watching the Senna video that he did. I was like, oh, God damn, why did I buy a Senna? I look stupid compared to what this guy is doing to it. But of course, he's a world champion, right?
Of course.
So Nico did that. But I think when he really embraced, I am a Formula One legend. And whatever my Formula One status brings me is what's separating me. That's when shit clicked for him.
Sure.
And he started doing, and I remember I thought it was brilliant. He started doing circuit runs and showing people in a simulator how you drove every circuit, Formula
Really?
One circuit, before a race. So he goes, you want to get here, and then you want to place the car here, and then he would stop
Wow.
there.
I haven't
And he
seen that. I gotta check
The
that
reason
out."
why I stopped the car here is because when you turn there, dude, the explanation was
And you're
like,
getting that from somebody who knows more than,
He's a
in
world
in
champion,
the top
dude.
10 people in the entire planet that could be telling you that.
Like, it doesn't matter if I'm explaining that. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're explaining that. It doesn't matter if Shmi is explaining
Yeah,
that.
yeah. No,
this
that's
is
unbelievable.
Nico fucking Rosberg
Yeah.
telling you. I'm staring at that point in the track, and
Is
you
that on
know-
YouTube?
It's on YouTube.
That is the unbelievable part about YouTube. You got a damn Formula One champion showing you driving techniques for free on the internet.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
That's pretty
this
cool.
This is where it gets
That's pretty
like
cool.
where it gets really nice. And I feel like Goodwood carries that spirit of the same like of what Nico's doing. Of like we all are here trying to do the same thing, trying to figure out the same thing because of our love for the same thing. And Goodwood just executes at a whole different level for everyone. Whether you come at a low level, at a low budget level, and you don't have a lot of money to spend on, and you don't have crazy cars, to people who have crazy cars, like the experience is kind of like as high for everyone as you'll find anywhere else.
100%.
Whether we go to any other place like Geneva, they'll open the red velvety curtain for us sometimes because we have YouTube
I
channels.
will say the cooler part about Goodwood and the one element that the general public, unless you are an owner of the cars or a client, a high-end client of the cars, is the ability to go in or drive the cars up the hill climb.
Oh, yeah.
That obviously the average person can't do. I wish more than anything that there was a $50 ticket instead of $40 where you could just freaking blast up the hill in whatever car.
But you know what? The average person can actually see those cars. Like, whereas if you go to Geneva and you're seeing them like sitting down, it's just sitting there.
100%.
And in here, you're actually seeing the car going like really fast and hearing it and enjoying it, because sometimes actually you can enjoy a car more from the outside, being a fan, than from the inside, because cars sound better on the outside.
Yeah, it's a whole different experience seeing a car stationary versus seeing it moving and making noise.
Yeah.
It can change your opinion of a car entirely. Like the AMG 1, I thought was so cool looking, so savage, and then I saw it at Goodwood idling and going up the hill, and I was very underwhelmed. But then the Wyra R goes, and you're like, oh my God, the sound, and the Gordon Murray T50. It's like, it's a whole nother level of just getting to experience it in its element.
Absolutely.
That's pretty sick.
I do think Goodwood is out there, but I got to say, the Middle East, we got to keep an eye on them.
Yeah, we got to keep an eye on them. I haven't been yet to one of the big shows. I know you went to the Riyadh car show.
Do you want to go to the Jeddah Formula One thing?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course I do. Yeah, whatever you're writing down, put it in ink. I love the Middle East. The car culture out there is insane.
Yeah.
People are friendly and receptive to the social media world, and
they love it. They open the doors. And what I'll say about the Middle East with these shows, we went to the Qatar Auto Show.
Yeah.
Like the Geneva Auto Show in Qatar.
Okay, how was that?
And unbelievable, because they had an off-roading section like right in the middle of the desert.
Really?
They brought us out with like their own drivers.
Wow.
They had their trucks. It was like an experience within the city and in the show. And it was in and out. And it was, it had a duality.
Yeah,
if you will.
That's wicked.
And that was awesome. And these guys are doing it up in Jeddah, Riyadh, Dubai, all of these different places. I think the Middle East is about to like blow up as far as those experiences
100%
go, because there's so much love and passion behind motorsport there. They really adore it. And I think that's the same thing that we found in Goodwood. And I think a little bit of, because I love Pebble Beach, like the whole
of course,
quail and all that crap. It's great, but it is very stiff. It is very stationary. It is very non-dramatic. Like the only drama is when YouTubers go and crash their cars and like start yelling at each other in public. I remember like some years people were saying that, and that's not it. Like, yes, we're the soap opera. We'll bring the soap opera, but we'll bring it everywhere. But as far as the show goes, it should be about the show.
100%.
So yeah, I think I'm going to go with you and say until right now,
Goodwood's probably the
Goodwood is the best one. That's the only one that gives me Goodwood.
Breaking
Breaking news, everyone.
Here we go, Sergio.
Fisker gets delisting notice from the New York Stock Exchange.
Fisker's about to get delisted. I should have sorted those.
Unbelievable.
I should have sorted Fisker. Were we just talking about it on this podcast or
Yes.
the one before?
Oh, good. I don't know. Okay, well, we were either talking it. That's my memory is so useless. It's unbelievable.
Same.
Either it was in this episode or it was the one before on Alejandro's channel. But yeah, we were talking about
How bad
just
they
Fisker
are.
doesn't make
everything.
any sense.
Yeah.
And now it just got delisted.
For being under $1 for 30 days straight, they're going to
So now it's
them.
officially a penny
And
stock.
by the way, I went in and I invested in Lucid. I bought the Lucid. I don't believe it. I personally don't like Lucid, but there's.
Did you see the new package that the executive come with a $6 million?
I saw that they were paying the executive, like the CEO, a $6 million bonus because of his performance and whatnot and deliveries, which makes no sense.
We got to sign up to be the CEOs of these companies.
Dude, absolutely.
Where is
because to Elon, they took away his $55 billion. Do you know this?
Yeah.
They took away his $55 billion because someone was not happy. Shareholder that bought like 10 shares was like, I'm suing Elon Musk and he should not be getting his $55 billion package. even though he completed and got to
Yeah,
every
yeah.
single one of those
Well, honestly,
goals.
though, what a champion for not making a public stink about it. I mean, I guess you can't. It's like a little bit. It would look greedy as hell to, but I mean, he just like took it on the chin. Whatever. Not getting my 55 billion that was in my signed contract.
Well, what he did was because the judge in Delaware, which is a tremendous pile of shit, and he's a Biden guy that's donated 1 million times to his administration, and we all know the Biden administration hates Elon Musk and Tesla, and has said that Ford, at the time when he had sold like 29 cars, electric cars, was the number one.
I
selling
remember.
electric-
Yeah, that was a
I mean, this is what they do. It's
that
fine.
was a
It's
ridiculous
fine.
statement.
But what Elon did was and by the way, I just incorporated a brand new business that I have in Delaware. And as I incorporate that in Delaware, Elon is like, all right, I'm getting out of Delaware. I'm going to Texas. I'm like, great. Fucking awesome. At least I won't have
Did
a
he
problem.
explain why?
The reason why he's doing that is because the judge in Delaware, that the night his compensation package, is operating there. So
Apple's incorporated in Delaware, right? I think.
no, Apple is a Palo Alto company. It's a California company. They just don't pay
maybe.
taxes because they offshore
Maybe
all of their
Alphabet Group
profits. I'm sure,
is-
dude.
yeah.
Most companies
The top of the top,
in the
I think,
United
is in
States
Delaware.
are because Delaware
Yeah.
is a pass-through entity with zero
Yeah.
taxes. So you take it. But either way, Elon decided to move in a different direction. But the thing is, what I was saying with Lucid compared to Fisker is an idiot. God bless him. God bless anyone that believes in him. Fisker is an idiot. Until he finds a proper CEO to take care of his shit, he's going to be a loser in the game. Because my guy bought a $20 million house with all this money that he raised without selling anything. He's doing great.
Clearly,
Like, don't get me
personally,
wrong.
he's doing.
My guy understands
I
the
would love to
system.
have a $20 million house in Malibu.
No
Goddamn.
doubt. My guy understands the system, but he's a loser as far as the actual car scene, like the actual getting to the goal. He's
Yeah,
losing
there
that.
hasn't been a successful
There's none.
launch and continued success of a business
From
with the Fisker name.
That's right.
Yeah.
There's none. He's a great designer. He's a great scammer, like taking the money from the investors and they can all suck a dick, whatever. He's great at that. And I don't mean a scammer. He's a great opportunist, if you will.
Yeah.
So Fisker's doing that. But Lucid, on the other hand, a bet on Lucid is not a bet on Lucid. A bet on Lucid is a bet on the Saudi government. Because the Saudi government is invested as fucking Lucid. And every time I talk to my Saudi friends, anyone that is in a higher level of anything, they all just can't shut the fuck up about Fisker. And while I know, Lucid. While I know that Lucid as a whole is not in the right path, not in the right track, I know that having the Saudi backing is not like dumb money. It's really
of
smart
course,
money.
of course.
Whereas before Dubai, Saudi used to be considered dumb money. Now it's really smart
Really?
money. But back then it was like, you have anything, let's sell it to Saudi. And it was like the case. They would buy everything because they wanted to absorb all this shit. And now it's completely different. Now they're very smart because they've gotten to purchase movie studios in the United States. They purchased technology companies in the United States. They invested in all of them. The Saudi owns a large part of our top companies in the United States, and no one knows this. And through also you have Aramco, like all of these different funds from the Middle East that are so successful and doing so well, and their governments, their infrastructure is growing and all this shit. So when you're betting on Lucid, and again, I'm not a Lucid fan. I don't like Lucid. I think they lack direction. I think their CEO needs to be fired, and he might be a great manager and perhaps an inventor, but not a CEO. They need a proper CEO with guidance
it's fair.
and to take him to the right place. But when I invest in Lucid and I'm looking at their prices right now, I know Saudi's not gonna let him down. I know that they will do whatever is necessary to get it to the place where it needs to be, because that's their trump card. That's the one thing that they're talking about and showing off and like very proud of. And they have all of the tools to make it work. So investing in Lucid is very different than investing in Fisker. In Fisker, you're just investing in someone that knows how to rape you out of money. And that's a negative equation. Whereas to them, to the Saudis, they don't need the money. But you know what they want? They want to impress everyone. They want to tell the world that they're number one. So if I'm investing in somewhere, I'm going to go and invest in Lucid instead of that. And a lot of people will think it's, But I think Lucid, once that he got delisted from the NASDAQ, touched bottom, and now it's going to go up. And so far, I've invested in it. I purchased quite a lot of shares, thousands of shares, and it's moving in the right direction, as I thought. Tens of thousands of shares.
Speaking of impressing everyone, I found it interesting going on a variety of podcasts, from like the jankiest setups you've ever seen to unbelievable. So
Well, you were
what
just
was
in the
that,
Howie
yesterday?
Mandel podcast,
Yeah, so
dude.
yes-
So goddamn.
yes, well, so you don't know what to expect, right?
Yeah.
I was very excited. I guess Howie Mandel is a fan and reached out about me coming on his podcast.
My guy.
And so I show up.
Good for you.
And thank you. Oh my God. Like, it was unbelievable. There was 6 or 7 cameras, 20 screens behind glass with 5 people working at the same time clicking buttons, and it was like the most unbelievable operation I've ever seen.
Can I tell you something? I think that's so mainstream, coming down to like our end of like neck of the woods, where it's like YouTube, because it's like you don't need to spend that much money to be able to get the same result.
That's what I find so interesting, is like it was hundreds of thousands, if not $1 million
Yeah.
plus.
Because Howie himself, I used to be neighbors with Howie.
Oh, really?
He lives, yeah. When I used to live around Hidden Hills, and I'd see him all the time, like when I was running or walking around, I'd respect the shit out of the dude and like go to the other side and whatnot. And it always tempted me to go and try to like have a conversation with him, because I knew he likes a lot of things that I like and that we like, and the interest. And it's awesome to see him come to our world, whether he's doing it in a 40,000 square foot fucking warehouse with holograms in it and all of his TVs and whatnot. But I do think these people have to, if you want to make this business a profitable business, which by the way, it can just be a part of what you do, because there's a lot of rich people that just hire like crews of people to film them at all times and edit shit that doesn't make any sense. They just have the money. But if you want to make this a profitable business in that sense, you got to calm the fuck down. Like, you got to realize that the numbers that you're looking at on TV are not real. When you see Jimmy Kimmel, Jimmy Fallon, and they're getting $8 million a year, right? Themselves for their show. And then you know that they have producers.
I would have thought it would be more than that.
It's probably more, but just think about how ridiculous $8 million is.
Yeah.
I want you to, I actually want people to understand this. When you're paying those guys $8 million, just those guys, and then you're paying 100 people, a crew of 100 people, and you have executive producers and producers that make a fortune off of these shows, then you got to pay the rent for the set.
Yeah.
Like, you're spending tens of millions of dollars a year on a show that if you watch online, and this is not by magic, by the way, a lot of people think on TV there's going to be 30 million viewers, and then when they go to YouTube there's none. No, they get the views of a mediocre, well-doing YouTube, like someone that lives on their own on YouTube.
Yeah.
And makes a
100%.
few million. Don't you think that's ridiculous?
Yeah, 100%. I think about that sometimes. I mean, I remember seeing the numbers for American Idol's biggest finales
And they're all
ever, and it
cooked,
was
by the
like
way.
8 to 10 million people watching.
And when they tell you that, it's 10
And
10
not
times
even
less.
factoring in whether that's true or not. The
It's
amount of, it was like tens of millions of dollars brought in on ad revenue during those. And I'm like, my damn Uber video got triple
Yeah.
the highest viewed
They're lying.
American Idol of all time, and they made 40 million off that freaking finale.
Yeah, because in TV you don't pay for the space. In TV you don't pay. You pay to be able to control the narrative. So there are some tools that are easy pleasy, like those. I'm sorry to refer. I'm not saying Howie. Because Howie's doing his own here, but like Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel, like those guys. It's like, say what I tell you. Shut the fuck up. You don't have an opinion of your own. This is what it is. You're getting paid $8 million and no one's watching you. What are you going to say? No? I would sell my soul to the devil. If anyone is willing to pay Alejandro $8 million to say whatever bullshit they want me, I'll say whatever.
It would be hard to say no to that.
I'll say
It would
whatever.
it would be hard
but
to
this
say
is
no
a
to that.
reality for those guys, and
Yeah.
not a lot of people understand that.
Yeah.
So when you really jump on our end of the business, which is like the actual viewers and all that stuff, it's completely different. I used to make movies that paid me millions of dollars that the network would tell me, we're going to have 800,000 viewers night one.
That's a lot.
That's what they said. I only met 2 people outside of my circle that have watched my movies. And when I started making YouTube videos again, and I got 400,000 views on 2 videos in a row, people on the streets were like, dude, you're the guy on the YouTube video. And that's when I realized it's not only what I thought, it's actually my experience, that it's legitimately fake.
I felt that about Netflix. So I was on a Netflix
Netflix is
show,
total bullshit.
Fastest Car. And at one point, it was like number 3 on the top 10. Like, it was just on there on Netflix's homepage. And it's
Doesn't do anything.
every so often, someone's like, oh, I saw you on the, actually yesterday or 2 days ago when I was doing the Cybertruck thing, the guy was like, oh, were you on that Netflix thing? But it's pretty few and far between.
And by the way, Netflix gets more viewers than TV.
And that's, they spent who knows how much on that.
Millions.
And it's obviously exponentially less than just like, oh, dude, I watched your How to Drive a Manual video.
Isn't that insane?
It's pretty insane.
Isn't that insane? But that's what we're dealing with. I'm glad that you're doing these podcasts, and I'm glad you did the Smoking Tire, you did Howie's.
It's
What
fun.
other podcasts have you done?
I just did the Peterson Museums podcast. I did Daniel Mack's podcast.
I'll never be
I've
able
done,
to do a museums podcast. I know that.
I felt fancy.
No shit. No shit.
I don't know. I've done a couple other. I did the Audrain Museums podcast. I think it's
having
fun.
fun?
It's a
Yeah.
fun.
Medium.
It can, if it's the same questions as the other one, it's like I don't want to tell the same story every
Yeah.
time. You
Yeah.
know, I don't want to like repeat how Vehicle Virgins was created.
How you
and
get
so-
started on
Yeah, yeah,
vehicle
yeah.
virgins?
But-
Always.
I think it's just fun having a conversation, and the more fun I have on the podcast, the better the podcast is. And
Yeah,
does.
always.
So it's like when we film, it's freaking hilarious. The Howie podcast, I like couldn't stop laughing, and it's just like
He's got it made.
it's just more
Yeah,
fun to
yeah.
hang out and yeah. How are we doing on time?
He's got it made. You got almost an hour here.
No
Do you want to
way.
keep going, or do you want to call it quits so we can give him more?
I'll
next
do
week?
one final question to the audience.
Sounds good.
Obviously, there's the thing I love about this is there's just like infinite stuff to talk about.
Absolutely.
You could have told me that we were 20 minutes in, and I would have been like, "Oh, okay,
Okay. keep
sounds
going.
good."
Yeah,
yeah.
same.
But I'm curious, and I think we're gonna keep it the way it is right now. But I'm just curious what the audience opinion is. Does it make more sense to have me post one on my channel and you post a podcast on your channel, or to have some standalone channel that just is dedicated to podcasts that we share?
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, please.
I think we should open a channel together
Yeah.
for the podcast, and do clips.
Oh,
And
okay.
post the short clips.
Yeah.
I do think whether, and listen, I'm on your channel, so I'm a guest, so I'm not going to go and say what I would say on my channel.
Why not?
But this is what I'll say, like in a really, the tone will be different.
Okay,
That's
okay.
all I'm saying. The
All
tone
right,
will be
okay,
different.
okay.
This is your channel. This is your channel.
Fair.
This is what I'll say. No matter what they say, a lot of people might think, yeah, it makes more sense to put it on your own. But no, this is like a proven formula that if you put it on yours, I put it on mine, and then we created a common ground where we can actually get clips and actually share them, the two of us, so it can go viral. That has a way better impact and a way better result than creating just a channel on its own to post this, because
Fair.
there's not a lot of people watching yet.
Yeah.
You want to get continuity going. Once you have a year going and people know that we're going to deliver these podcasts, they're going to jump in and say, all right, I'm subscribing to this shit. But right now, you want to bring them in with the viral clips. That's
I think
my take.
that makes a lot of sense. So guess we just solved the question.
No.
I still want to know everyone's
Yeah,
opinion, but
absolutely.
that's smart.
And I did it very respectfully, because if it was my channel, I'd be
I
like, shut
can't-
the fuck. No.
I can't even imagine. Well, there you guys go. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Always a pleasure chatting with you.
Dude, so awesome. Thank you
And,
so much
that
for
was
coming.
Two Dudes, One Car.
I appreciate it. 2 dudes, 1 car. No cups.